Scumbags. All good, bro.
Let's go. I think that got me.
Yeah. None of these motherfuckers could touch me. I don't give a fuck if you think you could. I still beat your ass like you from another hood. Still smoking wood, still giving bitches wood in a wishing well, cause I still wish a nigga would. Ain't shit to a boss. Rev her up like an engine until it give her exhaust. All these rappers I'm killing, I'm turning into a villain. My Nina be a horny bitch the way I'm getting her off. Randy Moss for your boy, how I'm picking them off. I'm picking them out. These other niggas chickening out. I'm chewing them up. Pause, then I'm spitting them out. I'm being general, don't make me start singling out. First things first, bitch, keep my name out your mouth. Before the doctor have to take your fucking brain out your mouth. I may just show up to your next concert with an AK just to see what all that fucking hype is about. Now it's blood on my Louis V's. Bad bitch like my clothes came from overseas. Ex-girl getting mad, say she over me, knowing damn well that I'm still in the ovaries. Bitch, please, I see bullshit around me. Hoes trying to clown me. As soon as I get money, I bet them bitches surround me. All my money going to new clothes and wardrobe, so I can't help but be fresher than Downey. Orange V long like I'm straight out the county. Louis Vuitton dime mixed up in Givenchy. Same way Hennessy mixed up in Bacardi. Damn, so how the fuck you gonna stop? How to get it? 30 hours. 30 hours. Hey, da-na-na. Hey, y'all like that out there? The game, 30 hours. Hey, look, I run laps around these niggas in their school raps. I'm still dogging with them cool cats. I'm still pretty when I sit back. I break your bitch for the Kit Kat. You niggas broke, you can't fix that. The competition is a mismatch. You niggas couldn't fuck with me on a bad day, and lately I've been having a lot of those. You pussy niggas so uptight that if you put your big boy pants on, you'll be rocking the camel toe. I'm such an animal, I'm such a cannibal. Body parts in my Danimals. I'm super radical, pussy you not compatible. You niggas itch like rashes. You clay niggas after me, so call me Cassius. Them hoes used to laugh at me, but now they asking the whereabouts of all my fashion. If we can have sex on camera, like I don't have real life standards. Guess I don't have real life standards, huh? Fuck nigga, have to get these hoes 30 hours. 30 hours. Da-na-na. Hey, hey, had to get these hoes 30 hours. Hey, should I give them a little more? I should. Bet. Look, I'ma just go back in for another. What's the real definition of a brother? Relation by blood or relation by color? Man, I don't give a fuck, I'm just talking to talk. This the talk of a boss. Keep playing with your boy, I'll be checking your pulse. Probably put you in a hospital, piss on your bed while you in a coma and your mama wait for results. Gone. Yeah. I had to get these niggas 30 hours. 30 hours. Hey, hey. Da-na-na. Yeah. I had to get these niggas 30 hours. Fuck nigga. Where we going? Where we going?
You know, I think more than me because he did a lot of really nice, generous things for me. You know, like he bought me a house, you know, cars, and paid off my student loans, and you know, all kinds of stuff. And he just be like, okay, he didn't care. He just didn't care about stuff like that. When he came to see the house, he was like, oh, this is like the places you used to take me. I'm glad you like your house.
Did it on my own, I'ma do my own thing. Mama in the mansion, have to relocate. Remember playing hide and seek in the cross bay. Now I can play it in the 16-room by the lake. Real estate is an investment, houses in the hay. Tryna block me for my blessing. Get shot in the face with a 40 Smith & Wesson. I'm a fool with the aim. Hanging out the window screaming gang, gang. Don't talk about it, be about it. your place of residence. We get those shits around. It's obvious, it's evident. Ain't nobody better than us. Better than us. Better than us. Double gun talk, load it up. Chopper like nunchucks, use it like Chuck now. Child's play, psycho since a shorty like Chuck now. Broad day, walking in your house, no rush. Two-face, niggas nowadays don't trust them. Behind your back, planning your attack, that's your brother. Knife to your back, but you feel the pain in your cardiac. It hurt when your day one's changed like no other. Snakes in the grass, they gon' be there forever. Third out, been on the scene forever. Running overtime, so I'm fine. Day one, no peons on this side. I'ma do my own thing. Mama in the mansion, have to relocate. Remember playing hide and seek in the cross bay. Now I can play it in the 16-room by the lake. Real estate is an investment, houses in the hay. Tryna block me from my blessing. Get shot in the face with a 40 Smith & Wesson. Fool with the aim. Hanging out the window screaming gang, gang. It's funny how they think they can't bleed. If that's true, then take these 2, 2, 3s and let's see. Do what you want if you got the money, just pray your niggas remain 10 toes down. Do all the shit, do all the hits, do all the misses, do all the differences. We all different, only God knows. He's omniscient, nigga I know, I'm the shit. So I don't let a fuck nigga catch me slipping. Riding around with my clique, yeah. Now if you take the L, you took an attitude, bitch, we lit. I'm thinking God, I'm not selling no bricks. Ever a problem, I call the cross office, they pull up with a hole in your wig. Yeah, you and your friend, kill our vibe, kill your man. Damn that, let's spray the whole scene, slide back. Spin the whole thing, Chanel back. But I still ain't put it in my stack. Did it on my own, I'ma do my own thing. Put my mama in the mansion, have to relocate. Remember playing hide and seek in the cross bay. Now I can play it in the 16-room by the lake. Real estate is an investment, houses in the hay. Tryna block me from my blessing. Get shot in the face with a 40 Smith & Wesson. I'm a fool with the aim. Hanging out the window screaming gang, gang. It goes down, down, down when the plug is in town. Prescriptions fill them out, pills get passed around. Run, 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 run away from my pain now. I feel like passing out. Why do I feel irrational? Running out of pills, now it's time to ration out. Plug come back around, until the plug come back around. Sometimes it just be hard, man. Everybody got their demons, everybody got their vices. Everybody got their own opinion on what life is. That should have you feeling lifeless. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 100. I was just counting my sins. Everywhere I go, I see dark, don't know where to begin. Every morning, on my knees, praying to God that we win. Fuck it, let's win it then. I got rich by my mama crib. How much you willing to spend? This money don't mean shit, but I still put them diamonds on my wrist to make niggas see shit. But lately I've been on my D shit. On that life is a mountain, and niggas don't know how steep it is. We'll give it all away just to stay sane. Been playing the same game, ducking and dodging all my pain. Still looking on my waist, hey. Shoot a fuck nigga in the face, okay. It's back inside my brain. Now that shit isn't really the same. Super serious, this shit ain't a game. I feel delirious, beast in the cave. Getting furious, but I ain't fearing it. All my demons standing up on my face. Pull the lady to me, drink so dirty you need a maid. Damn, some dirty ass drink. It goes down, down, down when the plug is in town. Prescriptions fill them out, pills get passed around. Run, 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 run away from my pain now. I feel like passing out. Why do I feel irrational? Running out of pills, now it's time to ration out. Plug come back around.
people, but it feels like it's just me and her in the room. I'd rather me die before she, so I mix drugs up, tryna find my doom, tryna find my doom, 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 tryna find my doom, tryna find my doom, 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 doom. I have a lot of trouble, I admit I'm running from 'em. Walking through Hollywood, I admit I'm astonished. So much has happened in the last few months. From broke to rich, to finding love again. I said so much has happened in the last 3 months. Drugs to mix, so I don't pick up the phone no more. New phone, who is this? Uh-oh. You got some nerve, dumb hoe. Where were you before? I could pay your mortgage. Now my shoes cost your car. Karma's a ugly bride. Yeah, she'll leave a scar. No, I can't be fooled. I ain't playing by your rules. I'm known to lose my cool, but that's cool, cause I'm known to be too cool. There's a room full of toxic people, but it feels like it's just me and her in the room. I'd rather me die before she, so I mix drugs up, tryna find my doom, tryna find my doom, 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 tryna find my doom, tryna find my doom, 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 tryna find my tomb. Ended up finding you. I assumed that you were gonna leave me over consumed, 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 consumed. Yeah, I'm fucked up, yeah. I already know. What's your favorite color besides blue? You're always blue. You've always been the one for me, you knew that too. Fucked up, drunk, driving on the avenue. Wrist hanging out the window like the rollie do. What it do? Keep an all black faux nickel on me too. Fucked up, drunk, driving on the avenue. Wrist hanging out the window like the rollie do. What it do? Keep an all black faux nickel on me too. On me too. No, I can't be fooled. I ain't playing by your rules. I'm known to lose my cool, but that's cool, cause I'm known to be too cool. There's a room full of toxic people, but it feels like it's just me and her in the room. I'd rather me die before she, so I mix drugs up, tryna find my doom, tryna find my doom, 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 tryna find my doom, tryna find my doom, 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 doom. Let's see if you ride. Let's see if you ride. That sounds clean. Hey, let's see if you a rider for real. I don't know if you a rider for real. I'ma fight for your love, survival for real. Let's see if you a rider for real. I really wanna see if you a rider for real. Don't think just cause you grip the wheel makes you a straight up rider for real. I don't know if I should give you the key to my soul. I don't know, no, I don't know. My paranoia and insecurities hold me close. Lay me down to sleep with my casket closed. Nail it shut, make sure not to leave a thing exposed. I don't know. Blonde hair, don't care, please don't leave me froze. Stuffed cigarettos and parks keep me whole. Should've shot it in the head, words from my bro. But anything for romance, I'ma risk it all. Let's see if you a rider for real. I really wanna see if you a rider for real. Don't think just cause you grip the wheel makes you a straight up rider for real. I don't know if I should give you the key to my soul. I don't know. My paranoia and insecurities hold me close. I'm cold in Cobain, I'm a powerful. I don't do cocaine, but it's perking my nose. I suffer from excessive road rage. Take my life and crash it into this hole. It don't matter, you can have my heart, kill me faster. What's mine is yours on a platter. I watched you grab that dagger. She's a stabber, but is she a rider? Or is she poison, a viper? She gives me higher supplier, and I'm on fire. Will she be my firefighter? Let's see if you a rider for real. I really wanna see if you a rider for real. Don't think just cause you grip the wheel makes you a straight up rider for real. I don't know if I should give you the key to my soul. I don't know, no, I don't know. My paranoia and insecurities hold me close.
Well, it's been a long time now since I've seen you smile. And
I wonder if Gladys smiles when angels bring my name up, or change language, subject change up. Her boy's a long way from red dogs and green rangers. Things ain't been the same since Miss Patterson called me famous. I saw your reflection in a toilet full of vomit water. You don't think I felt your hand on my head yelling, call his father? But people don't hear ghosts, so how they gon' blame me? Money saved me, so I'ma do the same thing. You dropping pounds, getting small on some sick shit, like how you got the drive but don't know how to use a stick shift. You better not miss this overdose, dope and mixes. Let your throat close with a boatload of dope quotes within it. The last off. Dropping tapes till I lost the count, coughing out blood, dropping weight like I lost an ounce, throwing words and tossing ounce. NY traveling, I'm Boston bound, bossing around homies and talking down the shorties while I'm charting down notes and spits of Harlem crowns, serving through the Harlem crowds. At the grip, I'm falling down. Yeah, I'm steady crawling around, calling out to God. You little angels falling down, save me from my darkened cloud. Reach your hands and arms around.
Qu'est-ce que tu as aujourd'hui? J'ai que les hommes m'écoutent. Bordel casse-tête.
well, it's been a long time now since I've seen you smile. And I'll gamble away my pride. And I'll gamble away my time. And in a year
Cinco.
Cop the BMW, new deposit, I picked up another bag. Like fuck it, I'ma count while I'm in it. I heard planes flying, crowds screaming, money counting chains, clanking shit.
Palace.
Get that bag, get through.
I say, I'ma secure the bag, do the dash, I don't want. I say, pack his ass when I feel alone. Niggas it with promethazine, carry home. RIP to all my niggas that ain't gone. I can take the pain, none of my shit again. I can take it, man. Go and put your digits in. I'm gonna take her and give her baby cookie karma. I take this hurt inside my heart, spend on designer. My nigga McMillan wonder why these bitches following. Keep that mask up on my face like happy Halloween. Chicken around my dick like a horse, nigga, no trust is dead. I'm just nigga with that job, revolver on me. 6 shot, nigga know I'm a big problem. I ain't got no worries, fuck that bitch like a Kuna Matata. Nine up in my pocket, that's a gun and that's a condom. That bitch like Nicki Minaj, cause she love my anaconda. Bitch, I'm on tour with Nick. Suck on my dick, no hit. Transform in a level like whip. Taylor gun, no swift. Tell a fuck nigga to come and get me. Tell him come on and get me. Tell him come on and get me. Make his bitch ride dick like Giddy. Yo, bitch, I'm up booty. What the fuck is you doing? Power with a bitch chopping screw up. I act like I never knew her. You got a new bitch when my bitches know her. I make your bitch look like some shit. Ooh, counting on. I'ma secure the bag, do the dash. I don't want. I say pack his ass when I feel alone. Niggas it with promethazine, carry home. RIP to all my niggas that ain't gone. I can take the pain, none of my shit again. I can take it, man. Go and put your digits in. I'm gonna take her and give her back and call it karma. I take this hurt inside my heart, spend on designer. Yeah, I'm gonna take it and give her back, call it karma. Not from Earth, baby, I am a Martian. Tesla, I don't gotta steer when I park it. OG in the air, I love when I spark it. Flew my OG out to Cali, I bought her a Lambo. Also bought her an AK-47, I call her Rambo. Niggas stick to me like Velcro, bitches stick like Velcro. Say he getting money, hell no, he still buying shelters. Raps in my Adidas, Spanish bitch, that's my amiga. I got a bad bitch with stripes, she mix, I call her a cheetah. Hotter than a nigga with a fever, she do like Justin Bieber. Bitch, I'm off of the meter, I got my hand on my heater. Microwave, call that chopper, microwave, heat him up. Like an abusive relationship, you know my gun gon' beat him up. If he up, sticky tough, but I'm not the snitching stuff. All these niggas talking tough, wait until I show. I'ma secure the bag, do the dash, I don't want. I say pack his ass when I feel alone. Niggas it with promethazine, carry home. RIP to all my niggas that ain't gone. I can take the pain, none of my shit again. I can take it, man. Go and put your digits in. I'm gonna take her and give her back and call it karma. I take this hurt inside my heart, spend on designer. Sniper nigga, white nigga, shit on him, no diaper nigga. I'm so fucking lit, I went back and fucked on my baby nigga. Magazine and Percocet for dinner, I'm a hungry nigga. They don't see me win, but I'm a winner, feel like Ruby Bridges. Rocket Javachi, sip a codeine in the back of the caddy. Last month I took 56 Roxy, last month I took 56 Addis. Caught him lacking in the back of the alley. I fell in love with a woman named Allie. I fell in love with the Draco scope and the titties. I fell in love with the attachment. I already know that I'm raising a rally. trust her if she came from the valley. I just would buy me a mansion in Cali. Got a house with a phone, cash cow like Sally. Lizzie on me, and he paramedic. I'm with killers and a young and they riding. Don't got a gun, ain't gon' use a machete. The crow to your dumb shit, fatty, crazy, fatty. Y'all like a belly? I'm on a whole nother level. I put that bitch and I send it to hell. She getting dick from the devil. I'ma get on my watch super bezel. Pull a string with your bitch with your pedal. Invested 20 bricks in the ghetto. Since birthday knew I was special. Run it up, I deserve me a medal. Push the start my foot down on the paddle. Camaretta in a Louis Velcro. I'm in tone that 38 special. Standing in rock all up in the middle. My name is die, but the kill got settled. See a fly, make it sing falsetto. Turn around, fade away, headshot like Melo. Let's go. Snipe nigga, wipe nigga, shit on him, no diaper nigga. I'm so fucking lit. I went back and fucked on my babysitter. Memphis and Percocet for dinner. I'm a hungry nigga. They won't see me win, but I'm a winner. Feel like Ruby Bridges. Rockin' Givenchy. Sippin' codeine in the back of the caddy. Last month I took 56 Roxys. Last month I took 56 to Addicts. Caught him lacking in the back of the alley. I fell in love with a woman named Allie. I fell in love with the Draco scope and the titties. I fell in love with the attachments.
I fell in love with it, I was just kidding, man. I fell in love with the head and the crotch crouch. I throw the right to his head like I get watched by a scouts. I got a drop box in the crouch. She bringing the molly out. I put green on his head just like celery. Squeezing semen at my dick, taking my calories. Pink dams, I killed it in the jazz of bunny. It's funny, niggas ain't clean, but they spongy. It's funny how I been wiping niggas' nose like they been eating something spicy. I put it up her nose, now she said she wasn't hiding me. Then she threw up her chores all over my Nikes, and I felt the ice cream with Adderall and Molly in it.
Sniper nigga, wipe nigga, shit on him, no diaper nigga. I'm so fucking lit. I went back and fucked on my babysitter. Memphis and Percocet for dinner. I'm a hungry nigga. They wanna see me win, but I'm a winner. Feel like Ruby Bridges. Rockin' Givenchy, sippin' codeine in the back of the caddy. Last month I took 56 Roxys. Last month I took 56 to Addicts. Caught him lacking in the back of the alley. I fell in love with a woman named Allie. I fell in love with the Draco scope and the titties. I fell in love with the attachments. I know you see me. Versace don't mean no Buscemi. My girl a mermaid, she wetter than fish. She go ape on the dick like she boo with that shiki. She got a fat ass in my palm, no kitchen. So motherfucking way, use my dick as a squeeze. My extended clip on me, put dick in my nini. Put a titty on it, now I need a bikini. Shine bright like a diamond, she back on the re. Disrespecting your bitch like R. Kelly, I peep. We no limit, we pull up and shoot up your feet. Got that torch on my hip, but no motherfucking teeth. Triple 9 on the map, pull a fuck up your bitch. I got blue faces like I'm crippin' in the city. Niggas two ways, they fake as fuck, it's way too many. I was broke buying downs, paying them a penny. He a rat in the mouse, he a Mickey Minnie. He a pussy and rat, no Tommy and no Jerry. Fuck nigga, be scared. Ain't no shooting in the air. If we gon' get him, we gon' get us close to him. We gon' hit him where he care. Wrist on polar bear. Fuck that, wrist on solar flare. I'm gonna kick it off. Kicking that shit so much out there in the place. Don't be calling on my phone with that fuck shit. No, not today. Bro just got a new gun, it's from Russia. Yeah, it's a K. Taking all these drugs, put my body function. Trying to numb the pain. Not afraid to say I live without rap. It's the truth, I'm not ashamed. I got pills in my body, bills in my pocket. They won't fit in the wallet. Young, rich, and poppin'. Safe full of commas, filled with toxins. Heart full of trauma, the soul of a lion. Touring, scoring, stats like Jordan. Places foreign, creeps in the morning. These hoes boring, got me snoring. So many hoes, if I want it, I could go more. My anxiety is like my cash flow, enormous. My demons do what I do to my enemies, torment. Said fuck school, those college dorms can't suck my dick into the morning. Sometimes life hits with no warning. Bites like Tyson, darkness swarming. The few people that I love are my umbrellas when it's storming. Don't be calling on my phone with that fuck shit. No, not today. Bro just got a new gun, it's from Russia. Yeah, it's a K. Taking all these drugs, put my body function. Trying to numb the pain. Not afraid to say I live without rap. That's the truth, I'm not ashamed. Perks, lean, smoke, all to the brain. Hey, hey, I don't fuck with the soap or the coke, I don't play those games. No, I don't play those games. In the bed, coding to the head with my main thing. See my awesome when we dropping draws, raw dog gang. Who knew making love will put a damper on the rain?
Against Shireman.
Not many Center Left people. Does it feel like that here? Or is that not necessarily the case? Or
it's weird. On ASU campus, it's dominated by TPUSA.
Yeah,
mostly.
you are the problem in American politics. politics today, there is something that is deeply and fundamentally broken about you as a man, as a person, that is rotting the inside of the country. At some point, we'll grapple with that, or the country will collapse. So we'll see what happens in 3 years, I
Thank you
guess.
for illustrating the point on civility.
Are now below $2.30 in most states. That's objectively not true. In fact, according to AAA, there's not a single state where the average gas price is below $2.30, and the real average nationwide is $2.97. Trump also said that he's brought $18 trillion in investment into the country. Not sure where he got that one, but even his own White House's rosy projections and claims only claim $9 trillion brought in investment. And as if we take those claims at face value from the White House, which we shouldn't. Trump also said that the man who killed a Ukrainian refugee in North Carolina entered the country through open borders, but he was actually an American citizen. You get the idea. These are just a few examples, but frankly, the fact checkers have had to work overtime after the deluge of falsehoods and incorrect statements in the president's speech. Yes, politician speeches are always full of false claims and spin, but Trump really does do a lot more of this than most other politicians, and frankly, I will always find it kind of insulting the way he seems to have normalized just looking us in the eye and insisting to things that are not true. But Trump also pulled something of a political masterclass when he challenged the Democrats and asked them to rise and applaud if they agreed with his statement that the government's job is to protect American citizens, not illegal immigrants. And then somehow they thought this was a good idea. They all sat silently down.
I'm inviting every legislator to join with my administration in reaffirming a fundamental principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
There's your next Republican campaign ad. And frankly, normal Americans are going to see that clip and reach the same conclusion that President Trump did when he said, these people are crazy. As is the case with most State of the Union addresses, the whole thing was basically political theater. And I honestly think we should go back to the pre-1913 tradition where they just sent a letter to Congress and didn't do a whole speech. The night served to probably change zero Americans' minds about the trajectory of the country and isn't going to materially affect even a single citizen's conditions. But it did provide fodder for attack ads and get us once again all at each other's throats. Other than that, it was really a wonderful evening. That's just my take, and the debate is only just beginning.
All right, joining me now, we've got conservative talk radio host Ari Hoffman and Stephen Bonnell, aka Destiny. Guys, thanks for being here.
Great to be here. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
So, Stephen, I'll come to you first. I imagine that there's part of that you agreed with, but part of it you probably didn't agree with. Just give me your big picture thoughts on Trump's address. I'm sure you watched it.
It's very difficult to do this, but I mean, looking at where we're at right now politically in the United States, I think one point you brought up, we've just kind of normalized having our government lying to us in the most ridiculous ways possible, even if it's a thing that they are seeing some success on. Like, are we really to believe that zero illegal people made it into this country over the entire, what was it? He said the last 10 months, actually, like 0 people. Just the idea that he can just say whatever, and then the fact that he has these same, rehearsed talking points that he uses over and over again. This country used to be dead, and now it's the hottest place in the world, and, blaming Biden for the things that he inherited that he doesn't like, and then taking credit for the things that are going well, like the stock market. I don't know. I'm very tired listening. to Trump and then listening to the ways that people around him try to defend every lie or crazy thing that he says by saying it's all a joke or it's all ironic until it's not, and then they defend the thing anyway. And to the larger point, you mentioned something about how, wow, it was crazy that, you know, Democrats didn't stand up when Donald Trump said that the government's job should be protecting American citizens. I think I would feel pretty disgusting if I had to stand, or if I watched a Democrat stand up for that when the president, you know, sent ICE to Minnesota, murdered 2 American citizens, and then basically shielded those officers from any and all liability and shipped them off somewhere else. I'm just saying, in terms of like, if that's the government's job to protect American citizens, it doesn't seem like it's playing out very well right now in front of the American people.
Yeah, let's come back to that second point, obviously, about the Democrats, and just kind of start with the big picture message from Trump. I certainly agree with you. I find it frustrating how he says so many things that simply aren't so. But Ari, I saw that you shared some posts, and I think it was a New York Post article or something calling it maybe the best ever or a really good State of the Union. Make your case for why you liked what you heard.
I always love the State of the Union. I don't care which party's president is giving the State of the Union. I love the theater. Maybe that's because I'm a drama kid, but either way, I love it. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's very entertaining, but you also get to see what the messaging is of the party that's in power or who's in the White House. And I think what this was for the Trump administration was a reset. Hey, remember all that stuff we promised during the campaign? Here's what we delivered on. Here's what we're working on. And here's why you voted for us in the first place. Trying to keep that message going with so many attacks on it, sometimes it's hard to have that megaphone. Now, that actually gives some credence to your argument that we should abolish the whole thing, because why do taxpayers need to pay for a giant campaign commercial? I find it fun. I find it entertaining. And it's the one time a year I think C-SPAN is actually fun to watch. I like when you see the different camera angles of who's reacting, but also I think it also shows how civility is completely out the window. Do you remember a few years ago when Barack Obama was giving the State of the Union address and Senator Joe Wilson stood up and called him a liar? He had to apologize, and there was huge public pressure on him for saying that. And ever since then, it's been going downhill, downhill, downhill. You had Marjorie Taylor Greene yelling at Joe Biden. Now, last night, you had Rashida Tlaib chanting KKK while the U.S. hockey team is in the room and everybody's chanting USA, USA, USA. I mean, we're looking at the both extremes of our political parties on display in the room. And I think as much as I love the speech, and as much as it seems like 63% of Americans, according to CNN, approved of the speech, I think what we're seeing is, as opposed to uniting, we're seeing our country become more and more divided. And I'm not sure how you really fix that, but I don't think it's divided between Democrats and Republicans.
But Ari, can you, when we're talking about civility or division, I feel like we can't really talk about that without at least acknowledging a large portion of that Donald Trump has spearheaded the decline of, no? Would you acknowledge that?
I don't agree that that's where it started. I think it started with Barack Obama trying to save his second term and cobbling together this whole different groups of different people and telling them, here's who to blame, here's who to blame, here's who to blame, here's who to blame, and attacking everybody under the sun. I think that's where it really started. And I think Trump came along and said, well, if this is the game we're going to play, then I'm going to play it, and I'm going to play it better. I'm not saying he's free of blame at all. I just think he's better at it. And when you look at the civility, the point I was about to make was, I think last night when you saw who stood up for what, and you see that the Democrats couldn't stand up for anything, even common sense, what you're seeing is there's a real disconnect between the Democrat Party and the average American. I think really what you saw on display last night was common sense and the far left insanity that has taken over the Democrat Party.
Well, all right. So, Stephen, I'll come to you on this question of the civility and decline. I have a feeling you have a slightly different view.
I'm sorry. Can I just get a refresher on the what was that Obama reference?
Which one are we talking about?
Obama was telling us to blame all these groups of people. What are we referring to there?
Back in 2012, when Barack Obama was having real trouble after passing Obamacare, what he did was he took a whole bunch of different disaffected groups. Let's not forget, it was Barack Obama who was pushing all the Black Lives Matter narrative heading into right after his reelect. In addition to that, this is stuff that he's been leaning on. Anytime there was something with race, he doubled down on the wrong side of it, took the wrong side of it every single time.
Okay, I'm not hearing anything. I'm just trying to, what was the, like, what did he say?
You want to talk about Michael Brown, you want to talk about George Zimmerman, you want to talk about him supporting Black Lives Matter. the organization that also had anti-Semitic undertones. Where do you want to start with that?
So in terms
that's
of
what
anti-Semitic undertones, I'm pretty sure that Donald Trump literally sat with Fuentes for, I think it was in Mar-a-Lago, to have dinner, let alone all of the other insane associations with him. Elon Musk is a white identitarian neo-Nazi machine on X, and he had a prominent role in the White House that was, by the way, a monumentally epic failure. Doge, which was a thing that was promised to us that was over the last year. I noticed that Donald Trump didn't say anything about that. He talked about putting together a new fraud team that was supposed to be headed by J.D. Vance. I don't know why we would have any faith in that when Doge was probably the biggest failure I've ever seen of a government anything initiative in the past 20, 30 years that I've known of. The idea that the president of the United States, Barack Obama, giving his opinion on some things in what was generally a very reserved way, and to say that that is what started things, and then compare that to Trump, who nicknames derisively every political opponent he has, is just absolute insanity to me. But I mean, it's in line with the current conservative thought of trying to blame literally anybody but themselves when the current political environment is just absolutely all of them. Yeah.
Funded terrorist organizations like funding Iran, gave money back to the Palestinian Authority so they could continue their pay-for-slave program. And you're going to lecture me about Donald Trump, who's solving peace in the Middle East right now. You're going to call him an anti-Semite, especially
just curious.
When he has Jewish grandkids?
Yeah, sorry, the Middle East isn't my strong point here. How many times are we going to get peace in the Middle East? Because I was told that the Abraham Accords were peace in the Middle East, and then the October 7th attacks happened, and then I was told that we just had peace in the Middle East again after the first Iran bombing, or after the Hamas thing, but then we bombed Iran, and then I was told that peace in the Middle East was there, but now we're about to go to war with Iran. I'm just curious, when are we going to have the final peace in the Middle East, or is it always like a transient 1 to 2 year thing?
Sorry, guys.
Yeah,
We're not going to go down the Middle East rabbit hole. I think we could do, a 2-hour podcast on that and only scratch the surface. I also think we're probably not going to solve the great debate over the collapse of American civility. But I do wonder, let's talk about this second question, right? To
well,
me,
just as a quick thing, I'm sorry, because I didn't answer the question. If you look at the 4 years of Biden and you look at the prior 4 years of Trump, or even the first year of Trump here, and you're trying to pretend that there is even remotely the same level of civility shown, you are the problem in American politics today. Like, there is something that is deeply and fundamentally broken about you as a man, as a person, that is rotting the inside of the country. And at some point, we'll grapple with that, or the country will collapse. So we'll see what happens in 3 years, I guess.
Thank you for illustrating the point on civility when you say there's something fundamentally wrong with me.
Yeah, let's not go there. Let's not go there.
I stand by my comments. It is absolutely true. To compare Biden, who said he wanted to be a president for all Americans, who increased the Secret Service allotment to President Trump, or to Trump while he was running for president, as Donald Trump strips Secret Service protections away from people he doesn't like, as he targets law firms he doesn't like, as he gives nicknames to people he doesn't like, who can't even condemn violence across all sides after the Charlie Kirk assassination, but instead says that violence on the left is disorderly and terrible, but violence on the right is in response to that. It's unbelievable.
Assassination after the Democrats were saying, well, he said some really bad things. I'm sorry he got shot, but he kind of deserved it. After the entire
which Democratic leader said that? Whiwhich Democratic leader said that? Which Democratic leader said that? The entire left. So it should be really easy to name a single Democratic leader.
Okay, guys, I'm going to reel us back in here. I'm going to reel us back in here. I think we'll leave it there for that. I get your
point. Let the record
actually
show that he had no response to that, but okay, go ahead.
I think if I was going to talk about the State of the Union and say one unifying moment, was actually both sides did stand and applaud when Trump condemned political violence and the shooting of Charlie Kirk, and I did appreciate that, though we can obviously talk about the broader way that was handled, and it was far from ideal. On this specific point, though, Stephen, I have to say, I am very critical of Trump's handling of immigration. I think obviously he's overcorrecting from the Biden policies, which were, their own problem in a lot of ways. But this moment where he says, please clap and stand with me if you agree that we need to put the safety of Americans before illegal immigrants. And then you have the Democrats sitting on their hands silently. I mean, what are they thinking doing that? And how is that not like the perfect wet dream of every Republican political operative for the next 10 million attack ads? I think that's going to land with
because
people.
Donald Trump has used this excuse of illegal immigrants to attack American citizens. We've got now hearings where judges are have issued release orders for American citizens that have been illegally detained by ICE, who aren't being released weeks sometimes after. Sometimes they're already shipped out of the country. You have the whole Alex Petty thing. You've got the Renee Good thing. Regardless of whether or not you think it was a justified or unjustified killing in both those instances, that's federal troops going to, or federal officers going to a state and killing American citizens. The idea that you're going to talk about illegal immigration and how we should protect Americans over illegal immigrants, but you've used that same talking point to what seems to be bring harm to American citizens, it rings hollow. And I wouldn't stand for it either.
What? So
I
don't.
noticed that
Why
my
can't
opponent
Ari?
doesn't
I'll come to you in one
care
sec.
about nothing, yeah.
Ari, yeah, I'll come to you in one sec. But it's like my perspective is that Democrats need to seize the high ground and say we agree. We need to protect Americans over illegal immigrants, but there's a right way and a wrong way to do things. And we think Trump's doing the wrong way, and then outline their own vision. But it feels like you're just giving a gift to Trump when you sit on your hands. They got up to applaud for banning congressional stock trading, which I don't care too much about one way or the other. But it's like, if you're going to get up and applaud for that, but then not for the basic statement of protect Americans before illegal immigrants, it just feels like an own goal to me, Stephen.
I mean, you can view it that way, but I mean, if you've seen the president utilize that same rhetoric to attack American citizens, I don't know why you would support him when he says it. It just doesn't make any sense to me. We need to do something about protecting American citizens over illegals, and then we've seen how that's played out now in a historically horrendous fashion. Why would you stand by this guy and support him when he says, those empty words?
Ari, your take.
Because of somebody like Washington State Trooper Christopher Gadd, who was killed by an illegal alien who was driving drunk in the middle of the night at 104 miles an hour on a freeway. And because of Laken Riley, and because of all the other Americans who were killed by illegal aliens. And yet the left doesn't want to acknowledge that at all. The left doesn't want to acknowledge that ever happens. Instead, they just want to not stand for protecting Americans. It seems like the left has no problem with this whatsoever. And if you don't want to get killed by a federal agent, you shouldn't start attacking federal agents. And the left shouldn't be weaponizing kids and sending them out into the streets, like here in Washington State, here in the Seattle area, to go after federal agents or police officers for that matter, because this is nothing new. This is something that's been happening since 2016 out here in Seattle. This is an ongoing problem where the left doesn't like law enforcement, where the left doesn't stand for Americans because they would rather stand for illegal aliens. This is what they are about. And I have never heard anybody on the left talk about any of the people who were killed by illegal aliens. I've never heard them talk about the angel families. It seems like the left's perspective is, well, we want a whole bunch of people coming into this country, and we want open borders, and we want them to keep voting for us, and we have no problem with the issues that are happening here with the mail-in ballot system, where we have multiple documented, recorded cases of them voting, and nobody doing anything about it whatsoever. They said, well, you know what? If we want to keep this to make an omelet, you got to break some eggs. I haven't heard any of them talk about that at all.
You're casting, Ari, so, Stephen, I'll let you respond in one sec, but when you say the left, you are casting with a very broad brush there, and you even had some Democratic members of Congress who voted for the Laken-Riley Act. For example, I think John Fetterman voted for it. So, I mean, you surely would acknowledge that not all Democrats are open borders lunatics, no?
I would say that John Fetterman isn't. I'd say you have a hard time naming any others that aren't. Because John Fetterman disagrees with the Republican Party, 80, 90% of the time? But I saw him stand up on some common sense issues last night when nobody else did. I've seen him say, hey, guys, we're looking like idiots. John Fetterman acknowledged the fact that, yes, they did give campaign fodder to Republicans for the next cycle and possibly the one after that by not standing up for common sense things. When you have Rashida Tlaib chanting KKK instead of USA, when the U.S. hockey team comes into the room, in one of the rare bipartisan moments when most people were actually standing, now you've just killed the fact that the left was standing for Team USA. And this kind of shenanigans didn't play well with the paddles during Netanyahu or any other, or with Donald Trump with people wearing white. It doesn't play. It just looks petty to most Americans.
Yeah, Stephen, your thoughts on that?
I don't even, this isn't even like real politics. I don't know what the conservatives are doing. First of all, to his credit, it is really hard for conservatives to imagine Democrats not being lockstep on things because they are literally part of the Trump Borg mind. So I don't think they can even fathom having a disagreement in party because Trump will excise that person from the party immediately if he even detects any type of insubordination whatsoever. First off. Second off, nobody loves dead Americans to illegal immigrants more than conservatives. And you can tell this because, and I made this prediction a year and a half ago, and it will come true by the end, there will be no comprehensive legislation done whatsoever to approach or address any of the issues related to the border or illegal immigrants in this country. Donald Trump is doing a big show of force right here for the first year. I called it a year ago. Anybody that was intelligent could have called it. Nothing will happen. Nothing will change. We're going to go to the end of his term. There will be no legislation addressing the backlog of asylum seekers, addressing the shortage of funding or staffing for crucial immigration-related things that would help us cut down on the amount of illegals in this country, because all of it is a horse and pony show for conservatives that like to drag out the same two corpses over and over and over again whenever they want to virtue signal on the issue and then do absolutely nothing about it, which is basically the conservative MO for everything, whether we're talking Doge or no new wars or 90 deals in 90 days or whatever. Every single thing is a lie. Every single thing is a virtue signal. Progress is non-existent on any of these issues. I don't even know how a conservative takes themselves seriously when they're talking about any of these problems whatsoever. You would acknowledge that if we get no legislation or no reform or anything of the immigration system in the next 3 years, because Donald Trump killed the bill, he killed the Langford bill that was actually going to take a good approach to our asylum system and increase the amount of judges available, increase the funding for border security, increase the funding for judges to go through the backlog.
He did do that.
Yep, and that got shot down explicitly because Trump said he wanted to keep it open as an election issue. Ted Cruz said it himself on the floor. That's not coming. We're not getting any legislation. We're not going to deport the 30 million illegals. Yeah, is this not a monumental failure?
What do you need the legislation for when we've sealed the border without spending any more money? The legislation that Stephen wants is the one that grants asylum to 11 million illegal aliens minimum that came here during the Biden administration. The Democrats have said as much themselves. And I'll say something else is that when the Democrats had control of stuff, I didn't see them passing any rules. The truth is neither party wants to solve this. And why does neither party want to solve it? The same reason they don't want to solve Social Security, the same reason they don't want to solve Medicaid, because the second you solve it, it's nobody's campaign issue. And I think the problem is that Stephen and I aren't living in two different worlds. Stephen wants the left to use it for their purposes. I may want the right to use it for our purposes. And unfortunately, we don't have anybody who's common sense getting in a room and saying, okay, you want to solve border immigration, then how about something like this? How about we say, all right, if you never committed a crime and you've never been on any form of welfare whatsoever, but you came across the border illegally, maybe we can find a path to citizenship. But anybody who commits a serious felony against this country, or who is living off welfare and came to this country just to get the welfare, maybe we don't grant it to you. And maybe we could get in a room and have that discussion. But from what Stephen's saying, it sounds like he has such hatred for anybody who supports Donald Trump or anybody who's a Republican, he'd never even want to have that conversation with somebody like me.
I think a lot of Republicans would revolt at that idea, though, of amnesty for anyone. So I'm not sure that's even a viable proposition. What you're describing is my position and has been for 10 years of a middle ground solution.
This is the position that conservatives will assume as a mask whenever they're confronted with somebody who actually wants to talk about immigration, which conservatives are not prepared to talk about, because you'll say all of this now, and I'm curious, if I go through your broadcast or your social media feed, am I going to see you expressing extreme disdain for Donald Trump attacking DACA? Because DACA is basically exactly what you're describing. It's a program that monitors people in the United States that have no criminals.
And hear how often we criticize Donald Trump on my show. In fact, we have an entire segment called When the Right Gets It Wrong. So making assumptions about a show that you've never listened to in writing that you've never read is quite an assumption. All I hear from you
it's very interesting that you just wait, hold on. Let me just clarify. Yeah, let me just clarify. Hold on, because you didn't respond to what I asked. Did you attack Donald Trump for attacking DACA?
All you've been doing.
He's not going to answer. He's just crying.
Because I support Donald Trump.
This is Trump derangement syndrome right here.
Because I'm a Republican.
It's actual grown children.
Drone.
He can't.
Because I support Donald Trump.
I think he's broken right now.
Didn't you say?
Is there like a reset button on the back of his neck or something? Can we? Okay, wait. Did you criticize Donald Trump for attacking DACA?
That's a valid question, Ari. What have you said over Trump being against DACA?
I don't support the DACA program. So
there it is. Do you see how I accurately called out the filibuster? Do you see how I knew? Do you see how I incepted? Do you see how simple the conservative MAGA brain is? Do you see how easy that was to call? I'm good on that one. Go. What's the next question?
If somebody is 9 months pregnant, flies into France, does their kid get to become a citizen?
Well, birthright citizenship
I don't know, and I don't care. I'm not French. I'm sorry. Hold on. Which French laws do you want to copy right now? What else do you want?
No, I'm giving an example of a random country. Why is it the United States of America has to do something that no other country does?
Like our freedom of speech? Like our Second Amendment? What else do you want to get rid of in the United States that doesn't match up with European countries? Please let me know. Give me the list.
That's the one. Okay, that's what the direction you want to go down. You want to talk about DACA? Let's talk about DACA.
Okay.
I don't think that just because you are here in this country with a parent who has no connection to this country whatsoever and you're born into this country, we should necessarily do it. However, that's not a decision for you or me to make. That is something the courts can make. And if
that's
Donald
great.
Trump wants to attack it,
that's a great, and that's great. it's great that you have that opinion, and that's fine, but I wish you would have just said that before rather than all this blah, blah, blah about, well, maybe if you've been here and you haven't committed any felonies and you're not on welfare, because clearly that was all BS. I wish you would start with the position you honestly hold right now. Now, earlier you made this complaint that we can't have a conversation about immigration, and I agree we can't, but it's because of people like you. You wouldn't give your honest opinion initially.
Guys,
People
all
like
right.
me, the Borg drone, right? People like me. I see why civility's out the window now.
Let's move to this next part here from the actual State of the Union, because I don't know that we're going to solve the DACA debate or litigate all of France's policies. But the actual moment here where Trump referenced transgender children being transitioned or socially transitioned in schools without the knowledge of their parents in some blue states, and then Democrats responded in a similar fashion. Let's watch this. I'll play the clip here.
But surely we can all agree no state can be allowed to rip children from their parents' arms and transition them to a new gender against the parents' will. Who would believe that we've been talking about this? We must ban it, and we must ban it immediately. Look, nobody stands up. These people are crazy, I'm telling you. They're crazy. Amazing, Governor. Boy, oh boy. We're lucky we have a country. With people like this, Democrats are destroying our country, but we've stopped it just in the nick of time, didn't we?
All right, so mixed thoughts on that, because he's definitely not accurately describing the situation in these different areas where some of these policies are in place. Forcibly confiscating people's children and transitioning them against their will isn't really what we're talking about, but obviously there is this ongoing battle over whether kids should be allowed to do these irreversible medical transitions that I think most people find really insane and objectionable. And then there are these states like California and New York where they even have these policies statewide where you're not even allowed to require teachers to notify parents if a child starts socially transitioning in school or going by different pronouns. So, I mean, this struck me as a moment where they're totally talking past each other. I don't see how Trump can really complain about civility when he's pointing out the political opposition and calling them crazy. But I guess, Stephen, your thoughts on this. This does seem like an issue where Democrats are going to struggle to appeal to the public if they can't even agree that, like, hey, maybe kids shouldn't be medically transitioning.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little disappointed, given that I feel like he didn't bring up the trans stuff as much as I would have liked, given that we're staring at potential war with Iran, given that we captured the leader of a foreign country, given that he is trying to tariff every country in the world even more than he was before after the courts ruled against him. I wish we would have gotten a little bit more trans stuff. I feel like we were lacking that this time, but I'm glad that he managed to hit those talking points a little bit. I honestly don't care that much. I cannot imagine obsessing over trans people. Every crazy trans person I've ever seen in my life has been somebody that conservatives have dug off of Twitter and decided to platform on their shows to show how crazy it all is. Personally, I think that if you want to talk about whatever trans stuff there is for kids, it should probably be a conversation between a doctor and the child and the parent. And I don't know if the school is involved in that. If you want to talk about school stuff, usually that comes down to school superintendent, local elections, and it should be dealt with there. I don't know what the dealing with at the federal level is. But I know how obsessed Republicans are in getting in between people and their health care, like they are in terms of banning abortion. So I don't know, maybe that's a conservative talking point that they just like to go over a lot.
Yeah, I think the problem is it's a lot of it's not health care. And I think this functions as something of, I agree with you that it's not an issue that's affecting most people's lives, but it's something that many people view as a sanity test. And they're telling me, and when you have a party that stood behind, or a lot of people in the party stood behind 16-year-olds and 15-year-olds getting double mastectomies thousands of times.
I think that this is, I personally, I agree with the late Kirk, that this is kind of an 80-20 issue. I think that the problem is that conservatives just don't think trans people are real at all, which I think is a silly position. But
well,
I've
always supported, to be clear though, I've always supported trans adults' right to live.
Yeah, but who cares at that point? If you're female to male and they're saying that you can't do anything until you're 18, or I'm sorry, male to female, you might as well, you're fucked stopped at that point anyway. You're never going back.
I don't
at that
think
point.
that's true.
It is true.
Blair
It's
White
absolutely true.
transitioned after
It's,
18.
Yeah, but not all of us have $150,000 for facial feminization surgery and soft puberties as whatever. But regardless of the issue with that, this is an issue. I would say that it is a healthcare issue, regardless if you want to view it that way or not. It should probably be a conversation between the parents, the children, and the medical providers. It might be in the future that we decide that all forms of this should be off the table and it's not important. But I mean, like, that's a thing that the medical establishment is slowly figuring out. In the UK, they've rolled back some of their stuff. I think in some recommendations in the US have rolled back stuff. Most people don't support surgeries for adolescents. That's a really extreme position, even among people that support trans people. And just hearing about medical advice being lectured about that from a side who we have like record numbers of measles outbreaks in the country right now because conservatives don't believe in vaccination anymore. I just can't take that argument very seriously. I'm sorry.
All right, I'll bring in Ari here for your take.
So how is this a federal issue? Senate Bill 5599, which was passed in the Washington State Legislature 2 years ago, allows a child who says, well, my parents don't accept me for how I am, to run away from home, be hidden by the Washington State government, by officials, by the Department of Youth, Children, Family Services, by their schools, never inform their parents of where they are, and then give them an abortion or transition them. It is a law. Right now, 16 states, including Idaho and Florida, are suing and hoping to take this to the Supreme Court to stop it, because what they're worried about, and what we've seen cases of in Idaho, is kids running away from home and ending up wards of Washington State. That's why this is a federal issue. You may not think that this is something that happens a lot, but it is happening way too frequently here in Washington State. I know since the beginning of the year, there's been at least 3 cases where we have seen this exact thing happen. And one of